Hello, everyone. I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com, and I got another movie review for you guys, and that would be, is that a gun in your pocket? If you guys don't know what this is, congratulations. Don't worry, I didn't know it either until like 2 weeks ago. So this movie is, the main plot of it is there's a lot of guns in this small Texas town. Something happens at a school, and then in order to negotiate it with the men in the town, the women basically band together and restrict sexual activity to them, and then I'm sure you know what happens afterwards. Conflict ensues. The reason why I'm just so kind of like blah about this movie is because this movie literally came out last year. It was just set in Chicago with Chirac. Chirac was basically the same thing. It takes the loose plot points of the Greek play that it's based on, of Lysistrata, I think. Lysistrata. Anyways, it's a Greek play, and essentially in the play, Lysistrata, she convinces all the women in Greece to withhold sexual privileges to their husbands so they can negotiate peace in a war that they were fighting. So it's a very, old tale that's been told many, many times, especially since one literally just came out last year. So anyways, talking about this one, though, this one kind of deals with more gun control as kind of like the underlying base of it, like Chirac was dealing with like the violence and crime in Chicago and stuff, and how it has become a place of war, and that's why it's deemed as Chirac. So yeah, this one deals with gun control in a Texas town. So how is this movie? It's fine. So let's get real and break this down. I mean, there's really nothing to talk about because it's okay. So starting with the writing and directing, in terms of the actual story, it's fine. I think it's somewhat clever with the whole gun control thing to put it in the whole kind of like comedic setting of the Lysistrata. And I'm probably butchering the name, by the way, but I think that's how you pronounce it. But I like that kind of like little comedic edge to it and stuff. It's kind of funny. It's cutesy and whatnot. But the problem is with the writing, in terms of like the dialogue and the characters, it is really not that funny. And I realize that you want to kind of mix that good blend of like drama and comedy and stuff. Chirac did that to a point. It was very kind of over the top comedic to see these gang members have their girlfriends or wives withhold sex from them because, they kind of turns them into mush. So I don't know. Like that was kind of funny. And then they would get really serious towards the end. This was just a flat out kind of like comedic look to it, and it did have like kind of smaller dramatic moments, but I never felt like it hit for me. I didn't really care about any of the characters. I didn't really connect with them because it had an overall like this goofy vibe to it, and it just didn't really click for me on that level either. I didn't really find it funny. It's fine. I mean, it's finely acted, and they deliver their lines somewhat fine, and the story goes along, I guess. But with the humor that's non-existent in this movie, and even the dramatic stuff that just didn't really hook me, the movie seems longer than it actually is. The movie's only like an hour and a half, but with the unintentional non-caring of characters and just the dialogue spewed, it felt like a 2-hour long movie. That's not a good thing. I was kind of bored by it. It just didn't really reel me in with any of the characters or dialogue that was being presented. I just did not care. But it is a little clever to put, like I said, gun control in the mix of this like play that's been kind of played out many, many times in many, many movies. So, I'll give them props for that. As far as the directing goes, it's fine. Like it's nothing like, mind blowing. Like this deals with a lot of, dialogue, heavy interactions. It deals with a lot of, just people in their houses and stuff. So it's not really like an epic type of movie, especially when you have an issue like guns and gun control, especially with what this country is going through now with all of the mass shootings and whatnot. It's serviceable. Like all the scenes they're nicely set up. The actors are in their place. They deliver their lines, and you go to the next scene. Like it's just nothing spectacular, but I will commend the director for at least doing a coherent story, and nothing really seemed out of place or whatnot. It did have a flow to it, but it was a little boring because I just didn't, get into it, and it wasn't really that funny. But in terms of a story structure and what the director did, it's serviceable. It's fine. As far as the acting goes, once again, you're going to hear me say it again, it's fine. No one is atrocious because I was expecting awful, awful acting. And there's a couple of like smaller people in this movie in terms of like the cast, because the most of the cast are unknowns that I've never even seen in my life. However, they sprinkle like a couple people that have been in movies, here and there that I've recognized. I'm like, oh, it's that guy. You know how like when you say a character actor, you don't know their name, but you're like, oh, hey, it's that guy. So there's a couple people like that. And once again, everyone's serviceable. Because at least with like all the dramatic scenes and stuff, when they try to get a little bit more serious about guns and whatnot, the lines were delivered well. Like I said, I didn't really think I connected with the characters. So that might just be me. That might be just a chase thing. But in terms of, delivering their lines and stuff, they were fine. Like I said, it's, once again, this movie doesn't really blow our mind considering the fact that I just saw something like this last year exactly. So 1 year exactly. So acting, fine. Cinematography, sure. I mean, it films, a small town very well. It's very bright and colorful. A lot of, bright shots, a lot of soft lighting and whatnot. It's not really a harsh film. It's a very, like I said, very upbeat kind of comedy. So you're going to have like a kind of a lighter kind of touch with the lighting and stuff. It's going to be all, white light and whatnot. It's not going to be like, this harsh like shadows or whatever. It's going to be, well lit stuff. So cinematography, there you go. Editing wise, this is, a knock on it. The movie felt longer than it should have. I didn't care about anyone. The story structure is fine, but it's not funny, and it just did not hook me the way I wanted it to, especially when you're dealing with an issue like this. Because at least with Chirac, and I know I'm going to keep bringing it up because guess what? It's the same premise. I should set in a location with a different issue. I kind of felt something towards the end of that movie, at least with Nick Cannon's character. He gave a really great kind of monologue and whatnot, and I bought into it. I bought into the acting because I thought Spike Lee really kind of got some really great performances out of these actors, so I got invested into it. I did not feel the same way with this one. I realized that these were actors reading from a script, and that was it. I did not feel like I was into that world, and I didn't feel like I was into this town, and like I knew the people like they did. It's a small-knit community. Everyone knows everyone. I didn't feel like I knew anyone. I just felt, like extras on a set or whatnot. So that disconnect was there with me. However, as much as I'm crapping on this movie right now, didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was good either. It's down the middle for me. So for that very reason, I'm going to give, is that a gun in your pocket? A solid C. It's whatever. I'm going to forget about it. I take that back. I've already forgotten about it. I saw like a few days ago. I actually don't remember most of the scenes in it. I remember a couple key scenes to the story. That was about it. So yeah, did you like this movie? Do you like these movies that are based on this play where it kind of takes a serious issue and kind of flips it on its head with a comedic touch to have all the women kind of refrain from sexual privileges for their husbands and whatnot? What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's also, kind of stupid how they portray men in these things where it's like, oh, men just, they're just sex hounds. That's all they want. And that's why they cave in so easily. Because women want it just as bad, fellas. So, because I actually, was reading a lot of message boards and whatnot. A lot of people have a problem with the way these movies based on this play are portrayed. Because this play was a long time ago in history. So the fact that it's set in a modern setting and it kind of just portrays men as all, sex. And then whatnot, I'm just curious what you guys think about it. To me, it doesn't really bother me because of the goofy tone. So I don't really take it seriously anyways. It's kind of funny to see all these grown men, with these guns like, you're not going to take my gun away. And then, these women are just like, no more sex. Well, I got this. A month later, give me some sex. Like, I can't do it anymore. Hey, take my gun, throw it in a fire or something. So I think it's more comedic. So I just wanted to ask you guys if you thought that was kind of, in today's day and age to have, men portray like that and just so easily swayed by sex. But then again, we're dumb. So it's very true. So Is That a Gun in Your Pocket gets a C from me. So have you guys seen this movie? Have you even heard of it? Have you seen Chirac? Do you think it was kind of a mistake to release both of them close together like this? Do you think this movie would have had a better chance if it was a couple years down the line or if it was before Chirac? I don't know. So I'm asking you guys this. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. And that will do it for this week's review, guys, or this review. Not this week. I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMoviescreens.com. And tune in next time for whatever I review next. See you guys later.